They just flagged down this rider here. He wasn't wearing a helmet, and the helmet that he put on now is actually considered a substandard. And look at the license plate on this Kagawad. Of course, if you don't have your real plate from LTO, you're meant to install a temporary plate. Oh, there you go. Inside, he does have a plate with the proper details on it. That motorcycle rider just pulled up. He's not wearing a helmet. Instead of having a license plate, it has the name of a congressman. Here you go. Plate is removed, but where's the real plate, or at least the proper temporary plate? They just tried to flag down this rider. I thought he was going to run away, but no. Oh my goodness, his little baby also. That's so dangerous. Excess passengers, none of them have helmets, no shoes, no license plate. Oh my goodness, I don't know if you heard that, no license either. Although, you can see obviously someone spent money on this expensive seal, which they're probably not authorized to use in the first place. Good morning everyone, MMDA back on the road. Right now they're on Santo Domingo. They are dismantling this tent over here. Imagine, that's literally eating out one lane in the road. That's the kind of thing that really adds to traffic every day. And across the street they're writing tickets to those two vehicles. Of course, after being ticketed, they're required to move the vehicle. They can't just leave it there. Oh, that black one that was ticketed earlier, they're now taking it inside the garage. So they had space? That's weird. They just stopped this rider here for the substandard helmet, no shoes, and he told the enforcer he doesn't have a license. At least he didn't waste the time with the MMDA. He just said, yeah, I don't have a license. And the towing crew are taking it now. The towing crew are just hooking up to that silver vehicle, considered to be illegally parked on the sidewalk. You can actually see the sidewalk underneath the car. Pedestrians, no hope, no chance. Same for this one over here, also being ticketed for obstructing the sidewalk. I can see in the distance they just stopped that rider. His helmet is hanging instead of on top of his head. If the driver shows a license, it's 1,500 pesos. Otherwise it gets impounded. There's no plate on the bike either, which means they'll usually check the ORCR. From what I've seen, as long as they have a valid license and registration, it will not be impounded, even if there's no plate. Same for the two joints car. He had a valid registration, valid license, that's why it wasn't impounded. This one is being impounded for illegal parking. Another motorcycle was just loaded on the tow truck. Unfortunately, the driver couldn't show a license. And right now you'll see the SCOG team taking down another tent over here that's in the road. They're also clearing the sidewalk of the tables, tarpaulins, and all the other obstructions. I just don't know if the MMDA will really keep or destroy this, or if the owner will collect it back later, because a lot of the stuff you see cleared, if they sign an agreement saying they won't put it back on the road or sidewalk, often they can get it back. The enforcer just called out to stop this person. Obviously no helmets. The bike doesn't have mirrors and the driver doesn't have a license. So that will be impounded, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. Because if you have an accident with an unlicensed driver, are they going to take responsibility? And they just flagged down this rider. No crash helmet, no shoes, no mirrors either. What is it recently with people not having mirrors? And when he asked for the registration, the driver's doing a lot of pointing, so... And further along the road, they already picked this one up, hooked it up to the tow truck for illegal parking. The team are now on an inner street, issuing tickets to illegally parked vehicles. Usually you wouldn't see them here unless there's a complaint. And that is the case here. They're acting on a complaint. This guy's trying to leave now. He might go from illegal parking to driving without helmet. Some drivers already came out and showed their license. So it's only a ticket instead of being towed. My guess is that the drivers of all of these vehicles are nearby, but maybe they won't come out until they see the tow trucks. Most of the motorcycles, cars, tricycles, and so on do have plates, so they can be issued tickets. But if people don't renew their registration, the tickets are useless. That's why towing is also needed. And over here, more tickets being issued. And I did see one of the enforcers requesting a tow truck, so I guess we'll see them go up soon. And there you go, you'll see the towing crew already hooking up to some cars, and they're already carrying motorcycles over to their trucks. vehicles. It's not just vehicles that are in the road. There's all kinds of things. Look at all that liquor there. Wow, someone had a good night. Someone came out for this silver one, but unfortunately they haven't showed a license so far. Maybe he's really going to wait until the tow truck comes in. There's another motorcycle that went up here. I've seen some of the drivers standing there watching enforcers. Only when it goes on the tow truck, suddenly they run forward. I'm not saying specifically for this motorcycle, but for some of the vehicles on this road. And going back again, you can see one of these pickup trucks has been put on the tow truck. I think the SCOG team asked them to clear all of this. The enforcers are speaking to the barangay captain over there. They explained that they did do coordination with his barangay. They asked if there's a one-side parking ordinance, and they were told there's only a proposal. There's nothing that's been approved, especially by the city. So that's why all of these vehicles are being ticketed and towed. Even the basketball hoop wasn't spared from clearing. It's been loaded on the back of the SCOG truck. But like I mentioned earlier, sometimes these things are collected back by the owners. Earlier this gate was heavily covered by these containers, but now everyone's running out to move them. They're also full of water, which is obviously a breeding ground for mosquitoes. And there is a big breakout of dengue at the moment, especially with children. So far no one's come out to remove this from the road. They took the chickens, but they left the structure. Sometimes that's the problem. You give people a chance, but they just go at a snail's pace because they think, okay, if we take a long time, they'll just move forward. And then it could be weeks or months before they come back. So they'll break this down so it can fit on the truck. Because their truck is already heavily loaded, they can't take up everything. I just looked where they're taking everything. It's an alley between their houses. And they actually have space where they could put this. But of course they won't put it in the alley because that would inconvenience them. They'll put it in the road where it will inconvenience other people. And I don't want to identify people, but I have been speaking to residents when I've seen their garages, gates, driveways are blocked. And all of them have been saying the same thing. They keep putting stuff in front of our gate. They keep putting their chickens on our property. They keep blocking us in. We keep telling them not to do it. They don't listen. So now you have an understanding of why there's an 8888 complaint. I just heard Bong asking for the barangay captain because they want the barangay to come through with a garbage truck and pick up all this stuff. One more bike going on the back of the tow truck. Quite a few have been picked up. Illegal parking, no license, that kind of thing. They're speaking to the barangay now, requesting that they clean up all the garbage that's on the street, all the bottles of alcohol, everything like that. So the SCOG team got sent backwards and told to start picking up this stuff. Because like I said earlier, as soon as the team move forward, no one's clearing the road anymore. If the team are confiscating stuff, they run out and say, okay, we'll take it off the road. But once the team move forward, no more. Hello. The team are now writing out a ticket to this truck parked here. Most likely it will be towed away because we already know this area is being used as a garage and the drivers aren't usually here. Just very annoying that they put an MMDA sticker on the truck because obviously they don't have any association with the MMDA. It might send the wrong message to the public. I think the team will also ticket this one and maybe tow it away. I know there have been so many complaints about the trucks parking here. I've heard them, I've seen them. They've been to 8888, they've been to MMDA, they've been to the LGU. This is a regular hotspot for complaints. Look at the condition of these tires. Obviously this is a non-moving violation because it's just parked. But look, there's no more tread left. It's just completely smooth. And then once a tire explodes on the highway and causes hours of traffic for everyone, they'll say, it could happen to anybody. It's just bad luck. No, not really. It's a maintenance issue. A driver actually came out for this one, so it's only a ticket instead of being impounded. It seems like they now have some drivers staying in a little bit of compound on the corner. Compared to the last time when the team were here, there were no drivers. One of the cars that was obstructing the sidewalk was complaining about being apprehended because he said trucks are parked here every day. That's why they're ticketing and towing the trucks. The team are now on Banawe. They're issuing tickets to these two vehicles that they consider to be illegally parked, obstructing the sidewalk. Literally, there's no place for pedestrians anymore. And the team are also issuing tickets to these motorcycles on the sidewalk. I just wonder why they're there when there's so much parking right here. Maybe they're not allowed to park there, maybe it's customers only. And I guess this is another example of how properties could extend out and then the sidewalk becomes more narrow. And unfortunately, another vehicle obstructing the sidewalk. There are accidents when pedestrians go in the road, and it also adds to traffic. All of these vehicles here, I think they're being repaired. I was told that it's the barangay that painted the yellow line that made the sidewalk much smaller than before. According to the enforcers, they have ticketed these for illegal parking. And this one is now being pulled onto the tow truck for illegal parking. This is their final tow truck. And if you look at this one, you'll see the ticket has already been left under the windscreen wiper. That's unattended illegal parking, 2,000 pesos. And exactly the same with the Innova behind. Ticket has been left under the windscreen wiper, 2,000 pesos, unattended illegal parking.